All right, ladies and gentlemen, I really like this last student. We solve sustainability at this university by shorter exams. So I am going to consider that for my own course, but I would like to talk more broadly with you about sustainability. So my name is Paul Smeets, and I'm an associate professor in social finance. And I'm going to do a little bit of a quiz with you. And I'm going to test how much you actually know about the progress we have made when it comes to these 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And everybody of you will participate in that. So no matter whether you're a student, an alumni, a professor, the commissioner, the mayor, everybody will participate. So please take your cell phone and then you go to live.voxvote.com. And in a minute, I am going to show you a code that will appear on the screen, and then you have to type that code into your cell phone. And so live.voxvote.com, then you type the code in your cell phone, and then you please wait for a second. And in the meantime, I want to welcome to the stage Florentine. I give her a little bit of an applause. Yeah, thank you very much. So, because together with Florentine, we are going to do this quiz with you. So, let's see. I think everybody should be on there right now. So, that brings us to a test question. So we are just going to, there we go. So, test question. Please answer this question. Did you like the cookie that you received before this ceremony? So if you liked it, you press yes. If you didn't like it, you press no. And if you didn't try one, well, that's too bad, but then you press I didn't try a cookie. And very important, you press on the bottom of your screen on the vote button, because only if you press the vote button, then your vote will actually count. So you have about 30 seconds to make your choice. Some people call for the PIN number. Now I'm checking with the techniques whether that is possible. You have it. Yeah. Fantastic. Great. So I think let's go to the results.
So the majority didn't seem to get a cookie, unfortunately. But
Oh. I have good news. There are some left. So at the reception, you can try them.
But of those that did try them, they overwhelmingly loved them. Yeah.
Very good. So now you all know how it works. Let's start with the real quiz. There we go, Florentine. Please, the first question of this real test.
So, in the last 20 years, the proportion of the world's population living in extreme poverty has A, almost doubled, B, remained more or less the same, or C, almost halved.
So again, make your choice and remember this vote button, very important. Five seconds. All right, the results, please.
So, we seem to have quite the audience that believe that it's almost doubled, most people.
Most people think it almost doubled. Well, let me tell you, this question was asked by Hans Rosling to many politicians, economists, world leaders around the world. And that's indeed the most common answer that we get. And when I see what Frans Timmermans said today, it really is the case that within countries, income inequality, particularly in the US, has gone up dramatically. And also you see in Europe, the average person hasn't really seen a large increase in income. But there's also quite some good news. There is room for optimism because actually over the last 20 years, the fraction of people living in extreme poverty has halved. Yeah, Thank you very much. Great. Yeah, I'm an optimist, so I like this. But let's see what the next question is going to bring. Question number 2.
How many of the world's 1-year-old children today have been vaccinated against some diseases? A, 20, B, 50, or C, 80%?
Five seconds. Okay, let's see what you answer to this question.
So most people think to believe that it's only 50%.
50%. And what do you think? We have good or bad news for them?
Probably good news.
We have good news. It's 80%. Question number 3.
Worldwide, 30-year-old men have spent 10 years in school on average. How many years have women of the same age spent in school? A, 9 years, B, 6, or C, 3 years?
Five seconds. Let's see the results.
Most people believe that 6 years to every 10.
Oh yeah, and now they feel there must be some pessimism coming up, right? It's 9 years. Question number 4, the last question. You're almost there. There we go.
Global climate experts believe that over the next 100 years, the average temperature will on average rise, B, remain the same, or C, drop.
Five seconds. Okay, the results of the last question.
So an overwhelming majority believe that they're going to rise.
Now, I think they should give themselves an applause. Because they got one question correct, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So what I would say I learned from this, I don't know how you see it, but I see basically 2 things happening here. I think on many issues, you here present, everybody, is quite pessimistic about how much development we have made on the Sustainable Development Goals. And that pessimism is not right. And a lot of things have been achieved. Obviously, much more can still be achieved, but I think it's also nice to see that really we can do something. It's not the case that it's just bad and we cannot change anything. A lot of progress has been made. But also, we see on one aspect, not so much progress has been made. Global warming. So actually, I would like to see what can we do at this university to work towards this climate change topic. And Martin Paul said today we should have 0 footprint in 2030. Now, when you came in today, half of you approximately tried a cookie, and what did people indicate?
They really liked it.
They really liked it, but there was something that these people, everybody of you, didn't know about those cookies.
It was a completely vegan cookie.
This was a completely vegan cookie. That means purely made out of plants. There was no eggs, no butter, no milk. Let me tell you how much CO2 we saved here today by just eating cookies. We saved as much CO2 as a car ride from Maastricht to Paris, and from Paris back to Maastricht with one cookie today. So when I then look at the lunch that is served. So take an average department in this university, 25 employees, and they serve a lunch, typical Dutch lunch consisting of sandwiches. And these sandwiches, they have meat and cheese, usually. Now let's say that one department out of 25 people on average would decide to replace those sandwiches by vegan food, by plant-based food. What this one lunch would save would be, and there we go, 80 bathtubs of water. One lunch. It's enough CO2 to have a hair dryer, and you have beautiful hair, so you probably use a hair dryer, to have a hair dryer run for a whole year, 24 hours per day. One lunch again. And if you look at the Amazon, the forest that is greatly disappearing, 90% of that forest disappearing is a result of cattle. And Amazon is hundreds of times the size of Maastricht, which you see here. But I would say, let's start in Maastricht. This is a perfect place to start. So I would therefore like to announce the Sustainable Lunch Challenge. Now, what does this mean? So, you are going to try within your department a one-time plant-based lunch. Only one time, not more, just once. I want to tell you at the same time that at the economics faculty in Rotterdam, they already only offer plant-based lunches. I'm not asking that. I would just say, do it one time. And then you send an email to me. The email address is here on the screen. And then every quarter in the newsletter, I will give you an update of how many bathtubs of water we have saved and how many hair dryers of CO2 we have saved. So please, I really want to ask you, try it out. It's just one time. For the rest, we can eat a lot of meat and whatever. But just try it one time. Send me an email, and let's make sure in the next newsletter we will have a lot of bathtubs and a lot of hair dryers of CO2. Thank you very much.